gosh, you did this last time. Okay, get it back on there. Yes. All right. Hi, this is Jennifer from Land of Milk and Honey, and welcome to our rock party that we are going to start in just a second. So give us a little bit. While we're waiting and setting up, please check out the gnome that we did last week. Also a couple rocks. These are some examples. You don't have to do it like that, but it's just some ideas. So as we're putting our stuff together, gathering our instruments and stuff that we need for the class, take a second to kind of look and see what you can do. Now some of these rocks, you can take them and put them in your rock groups. Some of these community groups have rocks, like Fallbrook Rock, and put notes on it, like this one. I don't know if you can get it in here, but this rock, it's little tiny, so the rock size doesn't matter, but they put a little "You are loved" on the back. I don't know what it says. If there's a question or a comment, you please read it to me. But "You are loved" on the back. You can put that on here, and then you can hide it in your community and make someone feel better. We've had people donate to the local skilled nursing centers if we wanted to do that. But basically, you could paint them for yourself, put them in your garden, give them as gifts, whatever you want to do. They don't have to be professional. It's supposed to be fun. So for today, you should have some paintbrushes, different sizes. I just have some different size paintbrushes here. Some water, different colors of acrylic paint. And if you want to, it's optional, you can put a varnish on it or a finisher on it. I did have some spray and that seemed to work well. Just do that outside. We are outside right now. So I have an old painting tray, a couple rocks, black paint, some water, and some napkins. That's about it. So if you're getting your stuff together, it doesn't have to be special. I just have some old paper. I have Anna over here has already started painting. So what you want to do when you start is first you want to wipe off your rock, whatever rock you want. I have one that I'm going to paint right here. So this is a rock, just a rock, river rock, and we're just going to take our paint, and hopefully we shook it up enough before we used it, and that's not, that's okay. So get your black out, get your stuff ready, and we're going to get a wide paintbrush, and we're going to dip it in our water a little bit, okay? And then we're going to take a napkin, and we're going to kind of just pat it off a little so it's not too wet, okay? And then we're going to dip it in our paint. So those of you that never painted before, some kids, this is all you do. Just get, either you can get one side loaded up, it's called loading it, and you're just going to do this quick little up and down motions. Now you notice that this, okay, so you could take this and you can let it dry and do as many coats as you want to make it as dark as you want or as thick as you want. But what you're trying to do is just make it nice, even cover. Just like that. Alright, so take your time and make your cover. And my paint's a little thin. I should have shook it up more, but you guys get the idea. So nice and smooth, and how it will dry is how you're painting it on there. So be careful when you're painting, make it nice and even. When you're ready to change colors, you're going to take it and put it in your water. Now acrylic paint washes off with water and detergent, so it's real easy. I just take it and I just kind of gently squeeze it. You don't ever want to pull your paintbrushes. When I'm done, I'm going to wash them with a little bit of Dawn dish soap, and I'm just going to gently squeeze them, and don't ever let them sit in water. So we're going to squeeze them, and then we're going to put it aside to let it dry. Okay, so once you're done with your base coat, which some of you have already base coated, you're going to let this dry. And since we want it to look like a ladybug, what we can do is think about, while it's drying, think about where we want our wings. Some people don't have a freehand ability to draw wings, and that's okay. So what I have done before is we taken a little chalk pencil or a piece of chalk, and when our base coat's dry, we just draw out where we want our wings, just like this, okay? Or if you don't think you're that good at drawing freehand like this, I mean, this is really nice because you can erase it and then you can redo it again. If you didn't want to do this, you could cut out the same shapes on a piece of paper and then you can place them on your rock. When you place them on your rock, you can kind of move them around to see where you want your wings, and then you can lightly outline where your wings want to be, where you want to put your wings. Okay? So when everybody's done doing that, let's pick out a color to make our wings. So I'm going to do, what should I do? Pink? You think pink? Pink, red? Yeah. Doesn't matter. Okay. So let's do some pink. So I shook it up good enough. Alright, so we have some pink here. So it's your choice if you want to use your big brush or a small brush, because it's a big space on my rock's really big. If your rock's really small, you need to pick a smaller brush. Okay, so the same thing. We're going to dip it in the water. Now we're going to tap it off. Okay? And I got my rock. Some people use a Lazy Susan so they don't get their hands wet or painted on, but that's okay. I don't care. We're going to load our brush up. And then what I like to do first is do like a leading bead, and some of you guys that weld know what I'm talking about. I'm going to leading bead all the way around the outside so I have a nice straight line. Okay? We're going to take that and we're just going to do like the base layer. If it's not thick enough like you're seeing here, you can let it dry a little bit and go over it again till it's nice and solid. Okay, so I goofed up, and that's okay. All little goof ups can be made into something else, like Bob Ross. You can goof up, make it into something else. Yes, it can be a bird. It can be a little tree. It's supposed to be a happy little tree. So, yeah, and the paint's trying to dry, and I'm not letting it. So that's what happens when it's I'm not giving enough patience for it. So we do this on both sides. I don't know if you can see it, but what I'm going to do with this one later on is I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to go over it again until it's nice and solid, because I want a nice solid little wing structure on there. Okay, so we're going to do both sides. I'm left-handed, so it'll maybe look backwards to you. There we go. Sometimes people get paint pens, and some of you have them, and they put nice little outlines or dots and stuff along their wings and that kind of thing when they're done, when it's all dry. That's okay. Anything you want to do is okay. Okay, so I'm painting this. Now we're going to pause for a second and ask, does anybody have any questions online? No. No questions? Okay.
There's a comment that there's a rock party going on.
We are a rock party. Rock party? Wow, we don't have any. Hey, we should have had music.
Our party is rocks.
We should have had some music, and if you want to take a break and get your child or adult beverage, that's up to you. All right, so the wings are almost done. Like I said, we'll probably take some time on this one and let them dry and put another coat on it so it's nice and solid. But in between that, we're going to take our brush, and we're going to take care of our brushes. We're going to wipe them off. Dip them in the water. Now, how are you doing over there, Anna? Are you ready? Is the rock dry enough for your wings yet?
Yes. Can you please hand me the chalk outline?
Okay. So, Anna, it doesn't, you can erase it if you want. Okay. When the weather's dry like this, the rocks will dry really, really fast. So it doesn't take long to create something really cool. And mine is not going to be perfect by any means. If you want to use mine as a base, as what you want to do. So here's one that I did earlier today. So I just drew a little face on there. I don't know if you can see it, but with my chalk, I drew the wings. I did the wings in red, and I drew the little where I wanted his little face. So I kind of like antennas on mine. I know you know, ladybugs probably don't have those big curly antennas, but I'm going to put some on mine in white later. Maybe I'll dot it. Maybe I'll make the little smile a little red line. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wait for these wings to dry a little bit, because I know you guys are working on those. We're going to do the eyes, okay? And then we'll do the dots, because then this will be dry enough to paint on. So the dots, I'm sorry, yes, we're going to do the eyes. So the eyes, you want a little brush so you can get around. So I'm just going to choose a little stiff brush, a little stiff one. All right, there. Okay. So if you don't want to mix your paint, you just kind of don't look at me, but I'm going to toss it. Don't tell my husband I did that. All right. So we're going to refill it with clean water. Okay. And do you want me to clean your water too, Anna? Okay. So Anna's drawn her wings, and they're really cute. So everybody's wings are a little different. Really cute wings over there. If you wanted to show her wings she drew. And now, Anna, do you want to start painting your wings with your red? Please. Okay, go ahead. I have put all your brushes over here for you. There you go.
Get a little tiny bit.
Okay. So maybe in the future we could have people up here, maybe 4 or 5 people up here doing the workshop at the same time. But right now we can't do that, obviously. So while Anna's getting ready to paint her wings, I'm going to get the white paint ready. For my eyes.
I'm going to start painting.
Okay. So Anna's going to start painting. I'm going to get this ready because I'm making a mess on my palette. So I'm just going to do that. All right. So Anna, you're doing a great job. Now when you have your little ones painting, they don't have to be perfect. Anything's fine. Anything's a work of art. So even if you go outside the lines, that's okay. Everything's art, right? Yep. And I don't know if you noticed this one. We had a friend give us this one. But look at this one. So if you really don't want to define it right now, you could paint the whole back end red, and then we can put the little lines in later to kind of show the body and the wings. And the little eyes have little eyelashes on them. Look how cute they are.
Maybe I'll do
Look
that
how cute
later.
that is.
Yeah.
We'll put it over here in case you want to look at it. But okay, so I'm going to get my white and my little rock over here, and we're just going to do the eyes. Okay? So we did what I told you. Dip it, pat it off, dip. Okay, so I'm not perfect. Oh, and the beauty with acrylic is that you can always paint over it or outline it and make it look pretty cool. So you just want to get them about the right size and about the right depth. There we go. All right. So we're just going to let those dry. And some of you might be worried about those chalk lines. The chalk lines will rub off when this paint's dry. You can just rub it off. It's just chalk. So my little guy, well, he's trying. I might just do his little mouth. So I usually use this as my pinky. So I usually put my pinky down to kind of stabilize my hand. And then I just go for it. There we go. And I'm going to dab it off. And I'm just going to get a little bit of white on the tip, and we can start doing the dots on the little antennas. Not perfect, but there we go. And we can always go back and do those again. We can make them bigger dots. We can make them better dots. Doesn't matter. When this dries, we can go back over them again. Okay? This is while we're waiting for the wings to dry a little bit so that we can do the dots. Ladybugs have dots. And the dots don't have to be perfect. They're just kind of an idea of what you want to do. Okay? So some people like this one, they went ahead and they just did white dots everywhere, all around his little face, all around the little body. You can do that too, whatever you want to do. Okay? All right, so I'm going to wash my brush off here because I want to do black now. Some people take the rock painting to the whole new level, and they are much better than I am, and they do all kinds of things. They can write different sayings on the back, they can do inspirational quotes, they can make trees and make whole scenes, beach scenes, and maybe we'll try that another time. I kind of like beach scenes. Anyway, so we're going to take my rock here, and we're going to think about where we want to put our dots. If you're not sure how you want your dots placed, can you hand me the little marker? Here you go. So what you can do is you can just take your chalk marker once your paint's dry here, and you can just make little circles. Where do you want my dots? You can do little dots, bigger dots, whatever. Doesn't really matter as long as they're dots. Okay? And they don't even have to match on either side. They just don't. Okay? That's all you have to do. Pretty cool. All right. So again, we're going to keep our little brush that we were doing, and then we're going to do black paint now. So we're just going to put a dot. Okay? And I kind of like that size dot, so I'm going to use it over here too. And again, if it's not dark enough, you can go back and do it again if you want. But I think you guys are getting the idea. It's definitely not a thick paint on this. Maybe my paint just got too hot and it's too thin. This isn't watered down. This is how it came out of the bottle. So usually these are good paints. So it is a little thin. I'm going to have to go back and make those darker when it's dry. All right. I'm just not happy with it, so I'm going to come back. It's not. It may look okay, but you know. So I'm going to borrow Anna's paint because it seems to be thicker. Is there any paint in here?
Yep, there's
Okay.
some paint left.
So what I'm going to do with Anna's paint right now, well, it's not dry enough, is when it gets dry enough, we're going to put eyes. And it's the same thing as putting these dots on. You just dot it. I don't think this is dry enough. No, it's not dry enough. Okay. But when it is dry, we will put some dots in there to make it make the eyes on it. And then you can finish it with little dots all the way around. And when it's completely dry, like after overnight, let it sit overnight. The next day you could spray it and or put like a brush on varnish on it so it seals it. And I would do both sides. Let it dry overnight, flip it over and do the other side. Only because I've had rocks that I've done and that got wet and it started to disintegrate the paint on the outside after a while. Just so you guys know, this was spray varnished by me probably about 10 years ago, and that's about as long as it lasts with the spray varnish. I'm losing my connection. All right. And while we have good luck now, I think we're going to end the program. So I hope you guys enjoyed your rock painting party. Next week, we're going to be doing a really easy bath salt recipe if you're interested. But this week was really fun. I hope to see some of your projects online if you could take a picture of it. And I also wanted to say congratulations to this week's winner of the Freebie Friday contest, which was Jan LaFawn. She was chosen for the weekly winner. Don't forget to join us at the Temecula Farmers Market and online. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Yeah, I love your ladybug.